Good morning, seventh grade. We're going to do a lesson over communication systems, and this is our one of our last units that we're going to talk about. But communication has gone a long ways. If you think about the ways we communicate, we talk to one another. That's probably the easiest form of communication. But we're not going to talk too much about that, even though it's very important. We're going to talk about the communication technology. And the main difference between the two is one of them is, again, face to face, where we're not using anything but ourselves to communicate. And the other one is using technology. Communication technology is to transfer messages upon, between someone or something to another. Okay, for example, you using your cell phone is an example of using technology to communicate. Your iPads or your are a way that we communicate messages to and from you. Okay, so just understand the use of machines or things of technology to get a message across. That's what communication technology is. Now, when we create messages, we need to make sure we know what is important. And some of the main things you want to think about is who are you going to send a message to? Is it going to be a first grader? Is it going to be a senior in high school? Is it going to be your elderly grandmother? Who's it going to go for? Because by determining that, you're going to know a lot of these other answers here in a minute. We're going to know how to answer the medium use. For example, you probably won't send a 80-year-old grandmother an iPad video and make her watch it unless she is up to times. You probably wouldn't do that because that's the wrong platform to send your message. So make sure you know who it's for. Then the medium is what platform you're going to send it on. Is it going to be a radio announcement? Is it going to be a television broadcast? Is it going to be paper and pencil? Is it going to be an email, a text? You guys use Snapchat. All kinds of these different things that you're using are called, that's the medium that you're using, or we'll call it the platform. And the last thing, again, once you know who you're designing it for, you're going to know the language used to express. Are you going to persuade someone to do something in your message? Are we going to inform someone? Or is this message for entertainment? There's a lot of things out there that's for entertainment. If you think about the music industry or the movie industry, that's all entertainment. Okay, so different factors you want to think about when you're creating a message. Okay, here's some groups that we teach in high school, and we kind of want to go a little bit over it just so you have an understanding. That we group all of our messages into a group, and these groups are computer, internet, printed graphics, photography or photographic communication, and telecommunications. The first one you guys know well enough, but we're going to talk about it. But it's sending emails, websites, anything on the computer that we send messages to and from someone. Printed graphics, that is everywhere. You guys don't realize it, but you will probably start looking around after we talk about it. But printed graphics is anything printed. Your shirts, billboards, trucks, semis have graphics on the side. Go to Walmart and everything that has a package is printed graphics. There's a way to send messages anywhere in the world. And if you think about just printing itself, it's everywhere and it probably will never go away because you're always going to package things. Photographic communication, using pictures to communicate messages. If you look at posters around, most of them have photos on them. So there's someone out there that has to create that photo and put it out to the world for everybody to see. Now, that is a message that they're trying to convey. So whenever they take the picture, they have an idea in mind for the message. And the last one's telecommunication. This telecommunication is sending a message over long distance. We've already talked about internet and That is kind of a form of telecommunication, the website and emails. Another one is television and radio. We still use those two, and it's sending signals over long distance to get a message across. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about just how communication has not really affected our political process, but everything in general it's affected. And about the political process, you can almost find out what's going on in the world the minute it happens. The second it happens on the internet, people YouTubed it, videos go viral, all because of the ability to send a message instantly on the internet. So it's kind of a neat deal, but it's also a scary thought process because something you do could be all over the world, negative or positive message, and you really didn't do anything except for you were the subject. Okay, so on the political process side, though, we can find out pretty much anything we want to know about the people running for office, and but we can see what they've done the minute they do it. So it's kind of a neat deal on our end as the consumer of all this. Now our society is being changed, and it's a scary thing, but it's also a good thing. We can pretty much teach and learn anything that we want with the use of communication technology. You are able to use technology and go find anything that you want on YouTube, Google, and learn about it. All you have to do is go read it and study for yourself. So if you notice, I use a lot of videos in class, or I think it's a lot easier for you to push pause when you go to the restroom instead of me waiting for you to come back and you've missed some. So it's helped education a lot. You are using less and less libraries to find information, more for just the stories that you want to read that are fiction or nonfiction. Here's one thing that's disappointing, but personal privacy has been affected. Somebody can have a phone and take a picture of you and put it all over the internet. And again, you have no control. You can't do anything about it. It's been affected. To me, I believe that we're losing the sense of family. When I go watch people go out to eat, I notice that a lot of people do not have or do have cell phones, and they're using them at the dinner table. And I've seen moms and dads and kids all on their phones when they're at a family restaurant. To me, I think that's the downside to this communication technology. But then again, it's a personal preference of the family. But I know at my home we do not have gadgets out during dinner time because it's just something we want to keep sacred because of we don't want technology everywhere in our lives. Continue on. We're going to talk a little bit about computer technology. Here's some of the main parts of the computer that make up this beast that we've been working with. We have a CPU, a monitor, disk drives, input and output devices. Okay, CPU, it's a brain of the computer, the monitor. That's obviously what we see. It's a form of output. Disk drives, a form of output and input. And we have our devices, which are mouse, input, and output devices. So here's the three main parts of a CPU: control, arithmetic, and memory unit. The CPU, again, is the largest circuit in the computer and is considered to be the brain. All this thing does is makes a bunch of mathematical calculations to make the computer work. Okay, programs, computer programs, software. You've heard of this term before. When you use Microsoft Word or you use those programs that you download for your iPad, all they are is a set of instructions to make the computer do what it is supposed to do. For example, we're using Google Slides or Google Docs or PowerPoint and Word. All these